你的视频可以这样关注关在一个现场呼噜过。
Increasing in frequency and increasing in height.
This is a baby boy. He was born 10 minutes. Good girl.
in the village there's like a little sort of small holding, and as you walk past you can just see all of the chickens roaming around in the garden, and they sell their eggs. So Rue and I walked up there first thing this morning and collected some eggs. And then also we have a little village shop, and luckily they sell organic bread, so I grabbed a loaf of that. And then also I've got an avocado in the bowl that needs using, so we'll use that too. For all of the years that I lived in cities, I didn't eat eggs because I really care about the chickens. I care about how they're kept, I care about how they're cared for, and having grown up here in the countryside, we were fortunate enough to always have access to kind of really local farms and to be able to actually see the chickens, see how they're kept, and see exactly where our eggs are coming from. One of the childhood memories that really stays with me is going with my granny to this local, really it was kind of just a shed in somebody's garden in the village that she lived in, and we would go down and you could see the vegetables that they were growing in the garden, you could see the chickens just roaming around, and I really wish there was more of that now, and that was still the way. One of the best bits of living in the countryside is that it's socially acceptable to wear wellies everywhere. Okay, we're on our way to the farm shop. It is the most gorgeous day today. There's still snow on the ground, it's freezing cold, but the sun is so gorgeous. I just can't tell you how grateful I am to live here and to get to spend my mornings in the garden with my dog and the birds. And although it's a constant battle of wills between Rue and the pheasants in the garden, I really truly wouldn't change it for the world. I just feel so lucky, and so much like this is where I'm meant to be at this time in my life. I'm really grateful for that. Okay, so I didn't get too much from the farm shop because I realised I need such a big food shop that actually I should probably do an Ocado order or something where they drop it off, because I need all of my cans, all of my chickpeas, tomatoes, beans and things like that, which I get through so fast. So I need to do a big bulk order of all of that. I need pasta, I need all of my milks, I just need everything. So I thought actually I'll just do a really big Ocado order tonight, and I can always show you that in next week's vlog. But what I did get is just enough to keep me going for today. So I got some of this red Russian kale. This is what I made the Caesar salad with the other week when I made that with you. I got a celeriac because I love celeriac if I'm doing like a roast or something, which I thought I might do on Sunday. And things like that I think are better to get from the farm shop. I got a couple of avocados just to keep me going in the morning. I then got, so this is what we're about to do, I got some strong bread flour because I was saying last week that one of my goals this year is to make more things from scratch, and bread is high on that list. So we're starting easy with a plain white loaf, and we're going to attempt that this morning. So then I also just got some of this quick yeast. Hopefully this is the yeast that you need. And as always, when I go to the farm shop, I always end up coming home with one random item. So today I picked up this double pot. I thought this might be quite useful for when I just buy potted herbs from the supermarket. I could put it in this and just keep it on my counter. So that's my random farm shop buy of the day. So I thought I would show you two things now. One is the bread that I thought we'll do our first attempt together and just see how that goes. And then the other thing is something that I make most mornings, which is my chia seed pudding. I like to make this in the morning and then have this for pudding. Or if I don't fancy it for pudding, then I will have it for breakfast the next day. It's a really good breakfast too. So I thought we could spend a little bit of time in the kitchen now, just getting those two recipes done, and I will show you how I do them, or how I attempt to do them in the case of the bread. I would normally use either almond milk or coconut milk for this, but this is what I have open. Just a little bit of milk. And then it's just whatever toppings you'd like. So I normally go for blueberries, strawberries, something like that. That's probably enough. And then I top it with the superfood berry mix. I'll get it out of the cupboard actually because I just buy this. But it is a blend of, it's this one that I've shown you before. Hemp seeds, golden berries, white mulberries, cacao nibs, goji berries and mulberries. And then you just pop it in the fridge for a couple of hours. Okay, the bread has to rise or proof or whatever it is that bread does. And I have Rue whining at my feet because she knows it's time for her morning walk. So I'm gonna go over and meet my mum and her dog, our family dog. I won't say her name because Rue knows her name very well. So yeah, let's go out for our morning walk. Okay, it's time for the bread to go into the oven. So the oven's preheating at 200 degrees. I've also put the casserole dish in there to also preheat. I'm about to try and make this dough resemble something like a loaf of bread, and then pop it into the oven, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed that it all works out okay. Something that I always try and find time for in the morning is to read, and I always reason with myself that if I have time to sit and scroll on my phone, then I definitely have time to read a few pages of a book. And I just think it's really important to spend as little time as possible on screens and on our phones in the morning, because for most of us, we'll probably then go on to spend the majority of our day looking at a screen while we're working. Reading's just a really nice way to do that. So I am still reading The Road Less Travelled by M. Scott Peck, which I'm really enjoying. But also I think if fiction is more your thing, that's an equally lovely way to spend the morning. And I'm so lucky in this house because I have these huge windows throughout the whole house, and all of them have really wide windowsills. So I like to light the fire and then just come and sit on the windowsill, and I've got the view of the fields, and just sit and spend probably just 15 minutes or so reading a few pages of my book. That's what I'm going to do now, and that also concludes my morning, because after this it is definitely time to actually get on with some work this morning. I mean, it kind of goes probably without saying, but I don't have time to do this kind of morning every single morning of my life. This is a real luxury that I probably get to do a few times a week. Even if it's a condensed version, I really do think so much of what you do first thing in the morning really does set the tone for the day. Some people might thrive off much faster paced morning routines with, you know, intense workouts and all of this sort of thing. But for me, I've definitely noticed that mornings that really regulate my nervous system and sort of wake me up really slowly for the day and allow time for things like spending time outdoors and practicing gratitude and getting like a really healthy, nutritious breakfast, that's something that's really important to me. These are all things that I sort of learnt about myself over the years, and just things that really work for me. But anyway, I'm gonna go and get stuck into my book. So thank you so much for spending the morning with me, and I can't wait to catch up with you next week.